Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly developer diary. So, for this week, I've been busy doing a lot of uni work, but I'll show you I'll show you now just what I've done, and I'll just talk about the rest of the stuff I've done this week, as per usual. So, for Pixar, I made, this thing you're looking at, which for now I'm just calling a Triceratops, but basically, what I'm thinking for the first chapter of the game, story-wise, is the player is in their hometown village, which I've called Folian, and this village is a pretty peaceful farming village in a autumn-themed forest. And the plot of the first chapter is going to be that plagues broke out and some of the villagers have fallen ill. And in order to cure this plague, the player is going to have to venture into the forest in order to find the ingredients necessary to create the medicine needed to cure them. And to tie that in with this, this is probably going to be the boss enemy of the first chapter of the game, or first segment of the game, is that the crucial ingredient that's going to be needed for the medicine is going to be sap from this creature, which right now I've called Triceratops. I think I'm liking a name like maybe something along the lines of like Guardian of the Forest or something like that. So maybe some sort of like forest protector theme going with it. And the reason I've made its eye and this bit of its mouth yellow is that sap is going to be its sort of like blood in a way. So when the player defeats this boss enemy, what's going to happen is the player isn't going to kill the boss enemy. Once they beat them in a battle, I think a nice resolution will be that because this is going to be like a guardian of the forest, it's going to see you as like worthy. It's going to it's going to like spew some sap out, and then it's just going to vanish into the forest. And then once that happens, the player's going to return to the village and save a lot of the ill people. So that's the plan for the first chapter of the game, roughly. So what I actually did to create this was the Triceratops I made quite a few weeks ago. I took this and first of all I gave it this sort of like branch looking texture because I wanted to make it look like it's made of like tons of different roots and branches all combined together to make this creature. As you see, there's little gaps in it, so there's like branches on this layer and just multiple different layers of like branches and roots to make it give it this wooden look. And then along with that, I've just dotted a few. I've made the like bony frills on it into autumn leaves, and I've just added little autumn leaf bits just along its body, and just made all the like bone aesthetics on this original pixel art, like the horns, mouth, and the claws, into autumn colours. I originally was thinking having these horns be made out of like solid sap, so it's like solidified to become like amber. But after having it look like that, I don't know. I just wasn't too keen on it. Just because if this was like amber coloured, then I'd feel like these would have to be. And I think that just looks a bit too much yellow. Whereas I think just having a little bit in the mouth and having its like eye, this like big core looking eye, be the like sap amber colour, works quite well. Another thing I might change is just have a maybe some like little vines or just moss hanging off the horns, just to give it a bit, just to make it look a bit more distinct from just the Triceratops. Just like little aesthetic things, like I might add some like little bits of vines or twigs just hanging off her. But all in all, I think this looks quite good. and I think this is definitely going to serve as like the first boss. So what will happen is the player will traverse through the forest, and there'll be like various different enemies, and then this is going to be the boss of the chapter. So the normal enemies might just consist of, you know, could be, I'm not entirely sure yet, they're all going to be probably autumn themed, so maybe like, so probably just a lot of different creatures that are like orange, red and yellow, so maybe like dire foxes, some sort of tree monsters or bush monsters, just some general animal wildlife, or maybe some smaller looking creatures that are made out of like tree roots and bark and that. Like maybe I could take the Pachysaurus that I made and make a like wooden tree version of that. Or maybe this could the like wooden version of this could be like maybe like a smaller enemy that this boss could summon, for example. So that's all the pixel art I've got done for this week. But as for the rest of this week, I've got a majority of my feasibility study finished now. And what I'm going to be focusing on now is the main things are going to be I have a coursework due in on in early November that isn't related to this project. It's the one I talked about last week with the 3 different options. So I'm probably gonna be focusing on that because that's just like a sooner deadline. So I want to make sure I get a good head start on that because that's worth the same amount of my grade as the final year project. It's just a closer deadline, so it makes sense to focus more on that. But other than that, I'm still going to be doing work on the projects. It is going to be because it's a longer term project. So for feasible ideas for what I want to get done next week is probably just some more character designs, and I'd like to make a start on some of the tiles, like maybe make some like, you know, village looking huts, or just make a few different assets that could make me allow me to make like a nice looking autumn forest area. Just things like that. Like, so I think I'll probably try and get some of the tile set or character designs done out the way. Like, I might make some more enemies that could appear in the like forest dungeon, because the forest is going to be like the first dungeon of the game. So that's all I've got done this week. So, and yeah, I've already talked about what I'm planning to do next week. So I think that covers everything. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you all next week. Alright, peace.